Hello everyone, welcome back to Digital Code Lab. Have you ever written a C++ program that became so long and that even you could not understand? Imagine writing 500 lines of code in a single main function that is monolithic code. Then your teacher asks you to fix one a small mistake. You change one line and suddenly another part of the program stops working. In today's video, we are going to learn one of the most important concept of C++ programming, that is function, where we will learn how to write a clean code, how to break our complex problem. So how to solve that type of problems. So function helps us to write clean, organized and professional code. By the end of this video, you will understand what is a function, why functions are important, and how functions works, and call by value versus call by reference. There are two function calling mechanisms we will understand. So don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Digital Code Lab for more programming tutorials. Let's get started. See, the problem, unstructured code. Let's start with a real life example. Suppose your mother asks you to prepare dinner, right? And would you do everything in one step? No, you divide the work. First, cut vegetables. You will cut vegetables. Then you will cook vegetables. Then make chapati. And at last, you will serve food. Each task has its own responsibility. Similarly, programming works exactly the same way. Mean, uh, many beginners write everything inside the main function. That is called monolithic code, and that is when your problem is small. Yes, it is good. But when your problem will become complex, lengthy, then you should not write it. So as the programs grows, the code becomes messy and difficult to understand. This is called unstructured code. For example, a student writes a library management system. Everything inside the main function, suppose you have written add book function, add book, search book, delete book, and issue book. Rather than creating function, everything you have done inside the main function. After few weeks, even the student cannot understand his own code. So, what is the solution? Solution is that you should use modular programming. Break the problem into a smaller pieces, and those pieces are called functions. As you can also see this picture. In this picture, everything is scattered randomly, right? Suppose inside a main function, if you will write every code, means you scattered each and everything in a single main function, and finding any new document in a scattered room, that will very difficult for you. So what you have to do, you have to organize all the things inside a room. Similarly, in code also, we will write the code in very organized manner, so that anytime if it is necessary, yes, I can do changes anywhere. Now, what is function? Now let's understand what is a function actually is. A function is simply a block of code designed to perform a specific task. Let me relate this by real life example. You can think about your smartphone. When you Click the camera icon. It opens the camera. Similarly, when you click WhatsApp, it opens WhatsApp. Each app performs the specific task. Similarly, each function also performs the specific function is nothing. What function is a small, you can say that mini program. Here you can see now multiple blocks, right? And after merging all blocks, I can make a large building, large program, anything, right? So here you can say that in a large program, a mini program is called what function. And each function will perform a particular. Suppose I have to do addition. So I will write int add a function, int a, int b, and return a plus b. So what is this? This function has only the job add two numbers. Why do we use function? Reusability. Most important thing is for reusability. Rather than writing same code again and again, you should reuse the code. Reusability means write once and call anywhere. Use many times. Imagine writing the same code 20 times. That's a wasting of a time. Function allow us to write code once and call it anywhere if it is needed. Second is what readability. By the help of function, we make our program more readable. So once uh, when you will use function, it will easier to understand to anybody. For example, suppose you have written calculate salary function. Why it calculate salary? Means anybody will understand, okay, calculate salary means this function, this particular block of code will perform the task for salary calculation. Or you can also say that 100 lines of salary calculation code, the function name itself explains the purpose, right? Second is what? Information hiding. Users don't need to know how the function works internally. They only need to know how to use it, just like driving a car. You don't need to know how the engine works to drive it, right? But internally, how it works, you don't know what is the exact way, how to use it. Only you know. So information hiding is also used here. How it works? You are just like you can take an example. Suppose already sqrt function is given inside the math.h header file, right? If you are going to call this function, sqrt function, where you passed any number, it will calculate the square root. But you don't know what formula it's applied. Similarly, POW function for calculating power. So if you have already created a function and any other person will use that, obviously that person will not know how it works. Only why I have to use this, they can know. Anatomy of the function. Now let's see the structure of the function. Consider if we are writing int add and inside the parenthesis int a comma int b and return a plus b. What is meaning of that? Return type. First, when you will write a function, prototype says first you should use return type, right? Return type should be any data type, either int, float, char, double, anything. Which type of value that function will return. Otherwise, if the function will not return any value, you will use what? Void. So int, if you are writing int, just like I gave you example, int add and int a, int b inside the argument and return a plus b. So int tells, uh, this tells what type of value the function will return. If I have taken integer, means it will return integer value. Second is add. Add is what? Function name. Function name. This is also known as what? Identifier. By the help of that, I can identify it. So always when you are taking function name, class name, variable name, you should take the uh, variable name or function name, anything identifier meaningful. Choose meaningful name. Don't write like ABC, parenthesis, XYZ, etc. Right? Right. Instead of that, you can write calculate salary, find maximum, find minimum, so that anybody will understand. Yes, this block of code will particularly perform this particular. Now, parameters, that is also known as arguments. Int a, comma int b. These are inputs provided to the function, and function body that will what? Do addition of these two number a and b that user will pass and return a plus b. It will return the value addition of a plus b. So this is where the actual work happens. You can think the function like a juice machine. For example, input equal to what? Fruit. Process equal to machine. And output equal to juice. Now, declare, define, and call. This is the life cycle of a function. This is very important topic. Function have total three stages. First is what? Declaration or prototype. You wants to tell the compiler, hey compiler, this function exists. When you declared a function, when you define the prototype of function, means you only wants to tell to compiler, this function exists in my program. For example, if you have written int add and int end and at last you will use what? Semicolon. Means you declared the function. Again, you want to define its body. Definition. Now, we write the actual code. Int add a, int a, comma, int b, and return a plus b. So, where what I will do? Return a plus b. That is actual the body of the function. What task that function can do? Inside the function body, we write the complete statement that that function can perform. Last, you should call the function. Now, we use the function. How? Just like it, if it will return the value, int result equal to add 5 comma 3. In place of a, 5 will copied, and in place of b, 3 will copied. So you can assume the function like ordering food online. If I want to relate this topic by real life, you can imagine it like ordering food online. First, declaration. Declaration means restaurant menu, where it will show all the menu. Definition, kitchen preparing the food. Obviously, chef will prepare the food. That is what definition. And function call, you placing the order. Very simple. Now, functions are as modular rooms, as you can see in this picture. This slide gives a beautiful analogy. Imagine a house. Kitchen is used for cooking. Bedroom is used for sleeping. Bathroom is used for bathing. Every room has a specific purpose. Similarly, every function should have only one responsibility. So, you have no need to use the bad design like inside a same main function. You are writing everything, every function. No, rather than because in here also, if there will be a same room in place of that, where we will perform each and every task. Obviously, it's not looks like a clean room, right? But here I can say that very clean architecture is there. This is for kitchen is used for cooking food, etc. So now, in a programming language, what is bad approach that you are following? You are writing a student management as a function, right? Wired a student management. Rather than using that, you should take a meaningful name. Inside it, you can write add a student, another function for delete a student, one more function for update a student, one more function you can take for search a student. So everything together, if you will merge, it will be a good design. And each function will perform only one task. This is called what? Clean code. Architecture of a clean code. Now, call by value versus call by reference. Obviously, if you have used the function, right? Function calling mechanism. There are two types of mainly function calling mechanism are there. That is call by value and call by reference. So this topic is frequently asked in interviews also. Let's understand using a real life example. Suppose I give my friend a photocopy of my notes. He or she writes something on the photocopy. Will my original notes change? No. Similarly, if anyone will ask to you, kindly give me your mark sheet, right? If the photocopy of your mark sheet you provided to your friend or in any company, obviously, if they will do any changes, they will write anything on your mark sheet, that will not change your original mark sheet. So this is called what? Call by value. That is the default function calling mechanism where uh, suppose here void put int x and x equal to 5, and if I will call this function foo, right, and where I will pass any value, so what will happen? Copy. I want to pass the copy of x, but when I will use in place of that ampersand address, then it will become a reference. So I am going to relate this by one simple code. Wide change. Suppose I have taken wide change int x is equal to 100. Suppose I have taken. Original variable remains unchanged here. Why? Because I passed here when I am going to call this change function. Wide change int x. This is the function prototype. And when I am going to call this, at that time I will call it change and where num. Means I'm going to pass the num variable as a copy, right? And that value of num will be copied in X and it will perform the task. Now, another case, I give my original notebook to my friend. And if he or she writes something, will my notebook change? Yes. This is exactly called by reference. Similarly, you can take another example. If you are giving your photo of your home to your friend. Obviously, that friend will say, in your home, if you will keep sofa in place of that, it will look properly. But if you will give in place of that key of your home, obviously, if the friend will come and if your friend will do changes, that changes will reflect in original. So when the changes will reflect in original, means you call by reference. When we pass the address, actual address, that is called what? Call by reference. And when we are passing the value, means the photocopy of that value will goes there. So that is the call by value. So you can see here passage copy original unchanged save and usage memory. But here passage address original modifies efficient for large data. So call by value where we pass copy and call by reference, that is what original. And this question is very important for your interview purpose. Always it's asked in Viva or in exam. Now, at last, master of the module. Here I will conclude the function. So, today we learned what? Today we learned that function are the building blocks of professional programming. Whenever you write a program, divide large problems into a small functions. First thing, if you have any large problem, suppose you have to make calculator, so you will divide a large problem into a small parts. You will make one function for addition, another function for subtraction, then next function for multiplication, then next function for division. And in main function, you will call all the functions. So main function will behave just like a manager, and each and every function you can say that it's like a worker. Second is reuse. Reuse functions anywhere it is possible. Why we use function? For reusing the code anywhere if it is necessary. Rather than writing same function again and again, we can reuse it. Write once, call everywhere. Now, refine. Use meaningful function name. First thing, identifier if you are going to take, you should take uh, meaningful value there, meaningful variable. Similarly, either you can choose call by value and call by reference wisely according to your need. If you do not want to change the original value, you can call by value. Otherwise, if you want to change the value, then you should use what? Call by reference. If you start using function properly, your code will become cleaner, easier to debug, and easier to maintain. That's exactly how professional software developers write the code. And here I have written huge overloading reference and inline to sharpen your code. So inline function overloading right now I have not explained that I will explain in next video. If you found this video useful, please hit the like button. And if you want easy to understand programming tutorials with real life example, subscribe to Digital Code Lab and press the bell icon. Comment below what topic should I cover next in C++. And thank you for watching. See you in next video. Happy coding.